I'm not on antidepressants, I'm on speed.
And rolling.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Let me try that again. It didn't sound loud enough. Maybe that's better.
I believe that's good.
So we're finally back after the last episode I actually uploaded today was the episode we did on Yu Yu Hakusho back in May last year, which I finally got around to editing. I was gonna like do some ambitious stuff like extra animation. I was gonna do like a stinger at the end that was like gonna be fully animated and everything. Like next time, the monkey bear, this big Cuba. But like it was a little overly ambitious of me, and that's kind of discouraged me from editing it until now. And now it's like there's no editing, but I got the or no animation. There's obviously editing there, but I managed to finally put it out there as a lost episode, so I'm happy with that. But this episode, actually no, like I want to talk about the last episodes that we recorded that are also going to be lost and probably never edited. That was the one I'm talking about is the one where like one of our recorders wasn't working.
Oh yeah.
Is yours working? Just to make.
Yes, it is. Good.
Good. I actually tested it out a little bit because I actually had to reformat the memory card, and I didn't have the memory card properly formatted. I think that the one, like the new one that I got, wasn't compatible with that one, so I had to like just rip out the memory card from my phone and put it in instead, because it was the same brand as the old one, but that one wasn't properly formatted, so we had to like share the recorder, and I didn't even bother looking at the audio because I had a feeling it was just going to turn out like crap.
By the way, you were scary when you get mad. You got that scary. It's a compliment.
Yeah, it's I noticed that like I don't know, like I haven't really examined like how I guess I get like really quiet or
you get that quiet angry.
Yeah, I think it's kind of like psychotic, almost psychotic.
We got two kinds of angers rolling here. You're like the guy who's standing in the back of a room, tightening the rope, sneaking up. You're the telltale heart.
Yeah.
I'm the Jason Voorhees, except I'm autistically screaming. By the way, thing I found out today.
I was just picturing one of the Friday the 13th movies with like it's the middle of the night, and all of a sudden you hear fucking normies.
God, I mean, he probably does have a fortune account in the remake. I mean, he smokes weed and hides in his mom's house all day.
Yeah. What were you gonna say?
Oh yeah, I fucking kind of forgot.
You said you were working on like a biography or of your family or whatever.
Yeah, I'm working on it's gonna be a collection of sort of essays or just like family stories. My family's kind of fucked up. Like, I've been doing some research. I found out our family can be dated back to 1491. At least the name York can. What's kind of interesting is like they used to apparently in Yorkshire I wonder if the Yorks are,
Real original, huh?
But they're also apparently, they degenerated quickly. I found out I have one direct ancestor who was banished to Jamaica for apparently cannibalism. I'm just picturing, like, do you want to hear a fun fact, man?
And then like some cowboy comes up to him and he's like, I got a plan to get us out of here.
Dude, I'm replaying Red Dead 2 because I want to tell you something. I got to the epilogue. Have you beat the epilogue?
I haven't gotten through the rest of the epilogue.
Well, I got through it and I was so happy. And then, you know how sometimes with the Xbox controller turns off and it makes you kick out the account? Autosave was turned off. I got to watch Arthur Morgan die again. So now I'm restarted. I'm doing the most dishonorable Arthur possible. A while ago, you were saying that Red Dead Redemption is a game, or is, Rockstar trying to be serious. Mind if I tell you some of the shit I found out in the game? Bigfoot skeleton, UFO, a fucking vampire, Nosferatu. There's like a lot of weird shit in this game. It's obviously,
Yeah, it's off the beaten path, but I think my issue is that I never felt the incentive to explore off the beaten path. Like, the story is so front and center that you almost feel obligated to finish the story, like, right away.
I've been trying to, like, do the challenges and hunt. I've also, let me tell you something kind of funny. I fucking hate the rats in that game. There's a hat you can get, and I want to get every outfit in the game, and you have to kill 6 rats for it. I couldn't find 6 rats in all of fucking New Hanover. I'm going around like Saint Denis. I'm hunting caves for rats.
Like that one side quest doesn't count where you go into the bar?
I didn't get to there because that's I'm planning on this one to like probably stop at chapter 4.
Okay.
So that I can have an eternally healthy Arthur.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I actually just started playing Kingdom Hearts 3.
How is it?
It's pretty good. But that's me talking as sort of a, not a Kingdom Hearts fan, but like somebody who's at least familiar with the series. I'm still really disappointed with where the series went, but for what it is, it's a pretty good game. I know that Video Game Donkey actually gave it a 1 out of 5. They hated it, and I can't even imagine like giving it a 1. It's definitely not like I'd say it's average for right now. I haven't finished it. I'm still I think I beat Hercules World. Got through I think almost done with Twilight Town in the first part. I don't know if you go back there or not, but yeah, there are some people saying that like there are parts of the game that are like really terrible. Like the Pirates of the Caribbean world is the worst. Frozen, they have a bunch of like fan service for Frozen with like scenes just completely recreated in Maya, and you can tell it was done in Maya because there are some frames where the watermark shows up on some of the characters. Because Maya is, I guess, it's like really protective with DRM and anti-piracy software to the point where like that stuff will occasionally pop up for like because it needs to be constantly talking with the mothership, as Rick calls it, the cloud, and like sometimes it doesn't do that, and it'll skip a frame, and it's really really hard to go back and correct that.
I've been getting into 2 video games. One hasn't come out yet, one I'm still playing. Monster Hunter World. I decided to play online for the first time, and I'm surprised. I cursed like a sailor in shore leave. I was motherfucking because let me tell you the most bullshit fucking thing in this game. There is a monster called an Anjanath. It's a retarded T-Rex. You know, and I had trouble killing it. It's like a lot of the fans who play World call him the gatekeeper boss. If you can't beat him, you can't play Monster Hunter. And I whooped his ass once. I got him on the ropes. Well, when you beat a boss enemy and they put it back in the wild, they kind of give it new abilities and they change it a little bit. He wasn't even fucking near me and he was grabbing me. And this one guy actually said, "You sound like you just had a fucking stroke." Yeah. The other one is Devil May Cry 5.
Oh yeah.
Oh, so I went up it. When I first saw the trailer, I had a fucking mental breakdown for 2 reasons. I thought, oh my god, Devil May Cry. And then I went, is that DMC Dante?
Yeah.
It's like, I got that bad taste in my mouth. It's like...
Yeah, I was like hesitant, but then I found out, it's actually Nero.
Can I tell you the most horrible way someone described it? My friend said DMC fans, some of them see Devil May Cry, the DMC reboot as like the Holocaust death camp. They keep it in the back of her head in a little box.
I don't think it's that bad.
There
are some parts of it that are actually kind of good. And actually, like, those parts, I think the director of Devil May Cry 5, I think has been the director of all the games, has said, you know, there are some parts of it that he's actually incorporated into the new, gameplay-wise.
Yeah.
Like, let's hope that... the story stuff isn't there.
Like, I tried replaying it. I couldn't get back into the combat. It feels weird to me.
Yeah, I actually just downloaded. I got Devil May Cry 4 on a Steam sale.
I really like 4.
Yeah, I've been meaning to get. Like, I have downloaded. I haven't played it yet.
Yeah,
like most of my Steam library.
Nero's an interesting character. A lot of people don't like him. But I like him when there's Dante there. You know, he's like, Dante's the cool uncle. Quite literally. Like, he'll walk in there and like, hey, you want to go kill some demons? And basically get like ship baited for 12 years? Yeah! So I got to the demo. And I'm playing it. And I'm not the best at Devil May Cry. I haven't played it in a couple of years. And all of a sudden, it clicked. I have memories of fighting the Nightmare boss from Devil May Cry 1. And next thing you know, I'm hitting triple F. I'm like, woo! And when they play the devil... Do you know how the music works in the new game?
Yeah, it's like the more combos you rack up, the more, like, music.
Yeah. When you get the pull my devil trigger... Excuse me, I apologize. Then it rocks. Yeah. Also, Have you seen the free characters they got?
It's is Dante, Nero, and Lady?
They call him V.
Okay.
There's a new guy. He reads poetry. He actually can't attack the enemies.
Okay.
He has free summons, but here's the trick: summons can't kill enemies. He has an insta kill attack that only works on defeated enemies.
Did they release? Because I heard that they were going to change Dante's theme.
Yeah, they have new vocals for it because a lot of people didn't like the first set.
Yeah, and like the guy was like ousted for like was he like a pedophile or something?
I didn't hear about that.
Like there was like some controversy, and like he was like cheating on someone, or I don't know. I haven't really keep up with that. I try not to keep up with that stuff.
Hey, do you hear about the cheat code DLC? Oh no, not even cheat code DLC. Rage 2, the cheat codes are pre-order content.
Oh.
Yeah. What the fuck, Bethesda?
Yeah, that just eliminates the point of
Cheat
cheat codes. I mean, unless you count like buying a like Game Shark or something.
Yeah.
Like that's I don't know, like.
What happened to Game Shark?
Oh, I imagine like legally they couldn't like it was probably online gaming that changed that. That's why you don't really see cheat codes anymore. Is like so many games have like online multiplayer. That's why you don't see GTA like keeping up with that anymore.
I do like how Red Dead does the cheat codes.
Really?
So do you know how they work? There's hidden phrases throughout the game. If you type into the menu, you get cheat codes. But they're like, one of them, I read the newspaper. I kind of role play. When I get the newspaper, I read it like the Morgan Show. And I'm looking on the back, and there's this little text that says, "Abundance is the dullest desire." And I go, that's an interesting phrase. And they fake you out. There is a have you been to the outhouse by the Southern White People Manor?
I don't think so.
There's a woman inside. She is inbred. She got the cleft lip. They lock her in there, but she will say weird phrases, and all of them are cheat code bait. Like, oh, could this be a cheat code? No. Also, apparently, they're doing another. Like, remember that Grand Theft Auto 5 cheat code thing, or not cheat? The mountain. Remember that with all the symbol, the Mount Shan?
I don't think so.
There was this it's a mystery that they put in one of the mountains in Grand Theft Auto 5. Still hasn't been solved. And apparently, there's one of those in. There's actually one or two big ones in Red Dead 2. Have you been to the pagan ritual site?
No.
Do you mind spoiler for an Easter egg thing?
That's fine.
You see a dead body impaled on a staff, and there's all these weird pagan markings, and there's a mask you can take. But there's something weird because if you come back, there's a body there. No one knows how to trigger the body. It's an unknown circumstance. The other one is there's all these trees that are shaped like weird, like Z's and N's, and they're pointing to something. They're called trail trees. And there's like all these weird mysteries that they're actually putting in. It seems really cool.
Now, speaking of video games, I saw that like there's some new screenshots of that Monster Hunter movie.
Oh fuck!
And it's like the more I hear about the more I'm like I actually can't believe that's like being made the way it is because it's like I don't know when it's coming out, but like the director's Paul W.S. Anderson, who did the Resident Evil movies. I think it's him because Mila Jovovich, I think, is one of the main characters. And it's like all this crap that you'd expect in like mid 2000s movies. Like it's about an army team in the real world that gets sucked through like a dimensional portal into the Monster Hunter world.
Do you know what I fucking hope happens? I hope that fucking Anjanath just like bites a tree 20 feet away and a guy falls in half. Yeah. I apologize, sir.
So where was I going with that? Oh, I also wanted to mention, like, I was looking at, I was on Know Your Meme, don't laugh at me, but, I mean, like, you're not one to talk because you've been on, you frequent, what's it called, iFunny?
Yeah, fuck you, yeah.
Yeah, so we're both culprits. But there was one image, it was the Netflix adaptation meme, and one that I saw, it was of Maze Hughes from Fullmetal Alchemist, and the Netflix adaptation was Markiplier. And I was looking at it, I'm like, fuck you, this works.
God, I really like May Hughes.
Like, and you look at Markiplier, he looks exactly like the guy.
What the fuck?
Mm-hmm. So, like, you know, if they did, like, a American adaptation, a movie adaptation, if Markiplier can act, then I would be all for him.
I mean, he has kind of acted.
Yeah, and he even has the same voice, kind of.
I really hope that they do it. Do you know who I would have do that movie, kind of? I would have, like, Industrial Lights and Magic do the thing.
You know who should direct it?
Who?
Guillermo del Toro.
Oh, fuck. Oh my god, I'm sorry. I'm a Guillermo del Toro nerd. I'm just picturing how you would have... He'd probably change it in some interesting ways.
Yeah, I would actually prefer... I was hesitant to say him because he would probably make it, like, really faithful to the manga. And I think that's where, like, American adaptations of anime is going to shine the most is with a director's specific signature and, like, altering some stuff to make it still, like faithful to the tone, but, like, deviating to the point where American audiences can enjoy it more.
I'm picturing how he would do Alphonse's suit. And I'm just picturing it. Oh my god, the practical effects.
I'm just picturing the Chimera, how he would do that.
Oh, Edward. I saw a picture. It's a T-shirt with the girl and the dog doing a fusion dance. I really want that T-shirt. That's like my favorite Full Metal Alchemist memes. Is when they do that because everyone knows that.
Speaking of Netflix, you mentioned on Facebook, like shitty TV shows.
Yeah.
Any in particular you wanted to talk about?
Okay. Duck Dynasty came to mind recently. It's amazing they can sell shows like Swamp People, Alaskan Bush People. Have you ever seen those shows?
I used to watch Storage Wars.
Yeah. Oh god.
And like I saw like a 4chan post that basically sums up every single episode, where it's like, they bid like super high, and like they open it up and it's full of junk. Then like a minute passes and it's like, holy shit, come back here and look at this thing. And it's like this Russian like doll of like a guy with a big boner. And he's like, well, let me call my friend who specializes in Russian dolls with big boners. And then they take it into the Russian boner shop, and the guy goes like, well, this is actually worth $10,000. Holy shit, man, we really lucked out.
That's the weird thing. There are like fucking fringe interests everywhere.
Yeah, like there's actually one. This kind of ties to Duck Dynasty, where they find like a warehouse and there's like these like duck decoys, and like they were actually worth like several $1,000s a piece. I
saw this one and this fucking pissed me off. It's a metal plate from 1716 that apparently they shot at. I'm not sure if it was on Storage Wars. It sold for $45,000. A metal plate with dents in it. I could make that,
I mean, we're kind of overselling it because that's kind of what the show itself like does, is like try and get sucker people into like bidding like hundreds of thousands of dollars on like vacant or like, is it like people who haven't claimed abandoned that's what I'm thinking of, abandoned storage places, and they're like, I'm gonna bid like $10,000 to open this thing up, and it's just, they open it up, it's full of packing peanuts.
Oh shit. Now, I watched Swamp People like twice with my sister.
Which one's that?
It's a show about the guys on alligators. Mm-hmm. It's basically a spiritual successor. But they found the most fucking Louisiana bayou people they could find. I don't even believe that they were born. I believe that like all the swamp juices coalesce in a full-grown man came out. And like... How my sister worded it was like, they talk like, alligator, he's a alligator. And you go, wait, I just understood what the fuck he said. What's happening? It's like they only hire guys who have an Cajun accent and also had a stroke.
That reminds me of like Pornhub put out their analytics picture showing like which each state predominantly like searches for. There's some weird entries this time. Like I think Oklahoma like searched the most for goth hospital or something. There's one that was skin, and I don't remember which one that was. But like it's funny because like on the East Coast, the South searches for ebony predominantly, except for Florida, which searches for boats.
That makes sense because every fucking old man in Florida has 2 boats he goes fishing on.
Yeah, and like Northeast is prominently MILF.
Interesting. That like South and the ebony is kind of an interesting thing considering
and considering yes.
Like, I'm surprised there wasn't, like, Utah has, like, corn porn or, like, some weird shit like that. God. I really want to see the guy who's like, let's see what each state's busting a nut to.
Like, when I hear the phrase boat porn, it just makes me think of DeviantArt.
Oh, God, I hate you.
Yeah, I sent you that picture of Dobson.
Yeah,
That was actually, I think Hee Silly Comics did that. It was like a parody of a Goof Troop drawing in, like, crayon or something.
God, what's your thoughts on Dobson?
He's not a good person. He's, like, miserable and, like, I remember, like, and I would recommend looking this up, Forever Pandering, Ken Ashcorp's old channel. He did a sort of video rant about Andrew Dobson that basically sums up everything that is wrong with, like, what he does.
Yeah.
Like, he just hasn't improved. And this is something that, like, I kind of get paranoid about, is because I get lazy with my art, or I get, like, I have a lack of motivation a lot of the time to, like, get up and draw, and it seems like Dobson fell into that after he graduated from art school. Because if you look at his work from art school, it's really decent, really decent. And like the difference between me and him, though, I think, is that he really, really can't take criticism. That's pretty much his hallmark, aside from inflation art. But, like, yeah, he just, like, goes off on people who just you just say, you know, hey, this kind of looks weird, or, like, you need to, like, tone down the like the facial expressions. It looks gross and rubbery. He just, like, just says, you know, oh, these are just trolls. And it's something that I've taken to heart as an artist.
I used to really be fucking awful of criticism. Mm-hmm. You can probably tell.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, when I first, like, was responding to criticism, I was just kind of like, you know, hey, I'm doing my best. That like sparkle in my eye, and so now I'm just like, I mean, I think I've gotten better in terms of, like, because I think that comes across as condescending when you say, you know, when somebody says, hey, your art is shit, and you're like, thanks, I'm doing my best.
You know what I've learned is, here's how I take it. They always have a fucking point. Mm-hmm. Always. Mm-hmm. Even the trolls. Mm-hmm.
Like, you don't really like to listen to it all the time, but I think that's the point where you, like, step away from the computer and go outside and just to, like, get some fresh air, you know.
Climb a mountain and scream, why? And then you hear, your proportions are off, fuckhead, from the skies. Hey, found something out. Clusterfuck is with a space, shit show is without a space. That is really useful information for writers like us.
Yeah.
I also found out there was a list of English vulgarities. Mm-hmm. There's 2,058 recognized in the English language, including my personal favorite, "Oncest" is an insult from somebody from like Wyoming for some reason. Just like Wyoming has that issue, no one else does.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think of, like, shitty TV shows I've watched recently, at least.
Have you ever seen any of those ghost shows?
Oh, yeah, like Ghost Hunters, yeah.
Remember when that shit was hot way back in the early 2000s?
Oh, yeah.
I remember my favorite thing was I used to watch it with my stepbrother. Mm-hmm. And me and him are still on good terms, even my stepdad's a complete fucking piece of cancerous tumors. But we're watching it, and we're watching it, and they have a guy go, trying to make it sound like a ghost. I swear to God, we thought he said, "I'm going to rape you," in a Sylvester Stallone voice. And now I just want to picture Stallone's ghost walking around this castle in Germany. All right, we're going to do this.
I remember watching a YouTube poop of one of the episodes, and, like, he edited fart noise in the background, and he's like, "What the hell was that?" And but yeah, like, fuck, I lost my train of thought. That was, you said the early 2000s?
Yeah.
Okay, because I was gonna say, like, that was like mid 2000s though.
That's what I meant.
Yeah, that was when The Walking Dead was really, really popular.
And everyone's grandma got an interest in zombies around that time.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I want to say that was actually later 2000, like 2009. Am I thinking of?
I think it was 2010 actually.
Okay, yeah.
Have you realized a lot of old people like the Walking Dead TV show?
Yeah, like the boomers. Or is it, yeah, I think it's like, are boomers in, like, their 50s now, or is that, like, Gen X? I think that's Gen X. It might be. I don't know.
By the way, I've learned, I have a theory in like 20 years this will be an insult.
I saw that Kevin Smith is making a Jay and Silent Bob sequel.
Do you think it's going to be good?
It looks awful. It looks like it was shot for TV.
Oh, fuck. It's already got footage?
Yeah, it's like they released a trailer, I guess. It's just like random scenes that are just kind of stitched together.
Oh, God.
And it looks like Kevin Smith. Did I say Kevin James previously?
No.
Okay, because I actually thought that, I think I got them mixed up at one point, but...
Oh my God, they're affecting the time stream, run!
But yeah, it looks like Kevin Smith woke up one day and said, I want to make a Degrassi TV movie with my characters. And, and he's like, oh, well, I can't release it on TV, but I guess I'll try and see if I can put it in theaters.
You know my favorite thing I've ever heard in insult is you talk like a gay guy on Degrassi.
It's been a while since I've watched Degrassi.
I've actually never seen it on account of I couldn't get past the fucking intro.
I actually hate watched it back in its early seasons.
Oh, God.
Back when Drake was still on it. Did you know that Drake was on?
Yeah, he was in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
He complained that he had the fucking hardest show to do. Huh. No, you don't. You're making an actor's salary in high school sitting in a wheelchair saying, I'm sorry.
He actually got put in the wheelchair because he got shot by a school shooter in the series.
I'm sorry.
And yeah, it's funny because while he was in a wheelchair, it showed it was before he left he was trying to start his rap career on the show.
I'm just picturing he gets shot in the back and he turns around saying, I started from the bottom and I'm here, and collapses dead. I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm not sure how I feel about Drake's music. I'm not into rap that much.
Yeah, I haven't really listened to any of his songs. I'm not into rap that much either. Everybody was losing their shit over Kendrick Lamar a couple years ago.
What did he do?
It was To Pimp a Butterfly. So people losing their shit in a good way. I mean, it's they wouldn't shut up about To Pimp a Butterfly. I listened to one of the songs and I'm like, whatever. I'm more into rock, pop punk, which people hate, but I still like the stuff.
I'm gonna sound like a cultural appropriator. I like hearing metal covers of rap songs. It works for some reason. There's a really good one, Gangster's Paradise, done by a New Zealand metal band. I didn't even know those existed. Speaking of New Zealand, I was watching a Flat Earther convention video, and a guy says, I flew over here from New Zealand to a convention. He flew. What the fuck?
Their rationale is that the plane flies around the rim or something of the flat Earth or something. I don't know.
There's something going around the rim. Not sure it's a plane.
Yeah. I think I have a theory that flat earthers they have the I don't know. It's kind of I don't know how I can describe it.
Do you know how Flat Earthers got started? No. Guy said, I will make an argument for something that is impossible. Earth's flat. And it was an idea of trying to prove the impossible.
Mm-hmm. I think it's more along the lines of the higher ups are lying to us. The people in charge aren't actually in charge, and they want us to believe something that's not true, but we know, and that's how cults also start.
I met a flat earther, and I'm going to tell you, it was
in person.
Yeah, oh. I was at a restaurant a couple of weeks ago. No, actually, a couple months ago. I'm sitting there, and a person starts talking. I mention, space. And, oh yeah, space is a lie. And I whip around, and I'm and she was the server. And there's two other guys, and they're arguing. So I'm like, tell me. And what there's sects of it almost. Mm-hmm. There's we live in a snow globe. Nope, we live in a flat plane. No, we live in a spiritual helix around the sun. And then what she said was that what we see as planets are the next stage. When we die, we go to this world to try and live and survive. And this one, there's an endless cycle until they become beings of pure energy. And then I couldn't even make this shit up. She then got a phone call. Get my weed. I shit you not.
I was about to say, can you sell me some LSD?
Dude, it was fucking bizarre. I really like flat earthers and creationists because they're fighting a losing battle. The leading expert on Tyrannosaurus Rex is a Methodist priest. There's a website. It has every argument flat earthers have ever made and how you can debunk it. Mm-hmm. My personal favorite one is there's 3 arguments I memorize. Well, we just know creation. Second one, another one I like, is if God, had billions of years of life and death, that means that he'd like suffering. And the response they had was, how in the fuck do you think you can tell God what he's doing? And I really like that one. I like this idea of a scientist. It's interesting to me seeing like this debate. Because how this one person said it, science is moving into agreement. Creationists are splitting apart.
Yeah. I was like thinking about how debates have changed over the years, and how like it's not like nowadays, this might just be my personal worldview, but it seems like people just like want to be the winner now. Like it used, like with debates, I usually think you have like 2 people, one with like each with an opposing viewpoint. They go into a room and like they give their like reasonings for their viewpoints, and then the debate ends, and then the audience is left to come to their own interpretation or like their own conclusions. But now it's like you're wrong and you're a piece of shit, and I'm going to make sure that everybody here knows that I'm the right person.
Can I be honest? As much as I would prefer the communication of thought, I kind of like watching a fire.
Yeah, like I think that's what they refer to as blood sports.
Okay, yeah, I fucking like the blood sports, to be honest.
Yeah, when you just go on a live stream to see some guy saying, "Well, you sound like a fucking faggot. Get the fuck off my stream, you piece of shit."
My favorite thing is I'm just picturing the line from Red Dead Redemption. You gotta love yourself a fire. I'm sorry. Oh my fucking god! Like my favorite ever thing though is ever heard of a moon god thing? A reference to Muslims?
Oh, the Jack Chick, the comic.
No, well, yeah.
It's like I think that's where it comes from. Is like where it's the white dad and his white son going by the mosque for some reason. They're in Iran or whatever, and the kid's like, "Daddy, what are they doing?" "They're praying to their moon god, son." And the guy, and like one of the guys, like the Muslims, he looks up, he's like, "Moon god."
Yeah, you know what the thing is? There are people who unironically fucking believe they worship the moon on their flag. And then you have to ask him, do you worship a fucking torture device?
Have you seen the flag? Is it the German flag? Or no, is it like Belgian, where it's like orange, white, and green?
I think that's... Yeah, I think that's...
It's Spain. I don't know. I think it is Spain. But like they showed... like they edited Peter Griffin. Like the outline of Peter Griffin from top to bottom.
Fuck. There's someone being beaten for that in a torture cell. You motherfucker. And then as they're beating them, you see the guy and they pull off the chainmail mask and it's Seth MacFarlane.
Well, I thought you were going to say it was Peter Griffin. Yeah.
I like to imagine that Seth MacFarlane has multiple personalities and those are each of the Family Guy voices.
Yeah, I think that's what he did when he first created Family Guy, is he put different pieces of his personality into each of the characters. Because he voices 4, 5 characters on the show. There's Peter, Brian, Stewie, and Quagmire.
Yeah.
And I think there's another one, but I can't remember off the top of my head.
I like to imagine that as he has been getting all this criticism and this backlash and all this hate.
Like, he's not really the showrunner anymore for
Yeah.
Family Guy. Is that he's focused more on the Orville, Star Trek.
Is Orville good?
I've heard it's really good.
I need to watch it.
And Star Trek nerds really like it because it sort of fills that void that STD has left. Star Trek Discovery.
Yeah, I can't believe it. Hey, I like listening to this old wrestling stories. There's a wrestling company called TNA. Ever heard of TNA Wrestling? You know what it stands for?
Remind me.
The guy Vince Russo went, it stands for Total Nonstop Action. It stands for tits and ass. Okay. He put that there because he wanted to be all woman wrestling. If you ever look at the history of wrestling, there's actually a supervillain among wrestlers. His name is Vince Russo. Mm-hmm. He goes around fucking over every company he's in. And then when he's done fucking them over, making them go bankrupt, he goes, they were making fun of me because I'm a devout Christian.
It's kind of what EA is doing in video games.
Oh, God, do you hear about them blacklisting people?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not surprised to hear about it. I don't think I've heard about it, though.
I heard this guy saying basically if you get blacklisted by EA, that's the best thing they can do for you. If they start making you a game changer and sending you all that free shit, don't listen to them.
I heard that Activision, fired, 100,000 employees or something.
Oh, fuck. I saw a YouTube thumbnail about that.
Yeah, it was something about that. It's just, I can't wait for video games to go into another crash, actually.
What if, there's two things that can happen from a crash. From the fires, we could get a new age of indie, of companies that are more focused for consumer-pleasing and profit. Mm-hmm. Or from the fires of hell, the Chernobyl rising from Bald Mountain, we have EA buys out Bethesda, who is purchased by Activision, and Ubisoft somehow gets wedged in that.
I'm just imagining this giant flaming poop monster looming over the city, and then Reggie looks out the window. He just unbuttons his jacket. He's like, "This is time."
No, do you know what's gonna happen? He's gonna be standing out there, and he's gonna look over at Kojima and says, "I never thought I'd die next to a competitor." He says, "How about a friend?"
Yeah, I could deal with that. But first, I'm gonna play my Animal Crossing Nintendo 3DS.
I'm sorry. I kind of like Kojima. It's weird.
Do you think Death Stranding is going to be good?
I don't know if it's going to be good. I know it's going to be fucking interesting.
Yeah. I mean, it'll be either be good or a really interesting train wreck to watch.
It is. That's the thing about Kojima. You can kind of read how some games are going to turn out. You could tell by the trailer, I'm off the Morgan and I'm out. Oh, he's going to die. You know what I'm talking about, though. You can read certain games. Yeah. Every time we see of Death Stranding, it's like, what the fuck? Mm-hmm. It's like, do you know what Moby Dick Studios was?
What?
Kojima made a fake studio and all these fake trailers and all these fake interviews for Metal Gear 5. Mm-hmm. And he basically took out false leads, put them in a machine gun and shot them on the internet. Mm-hmm. And there's still people. It was weird. Mm-hmm. Kojima's good at hiding his deck. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but in regards to a video game crash, I think these things happen in cycles. Because the last gaming crash to happen was in actually the early 80s before the NES was released.
The Atari.
Yeah, the Atari, because they kept just pumping out all this garbage for really, really cheap, and nobody was buying it. And I think that when I think about innovation in whether it's video games or animation or filmmaking, any entertainment, the enemy is apathy. I think about the Aladdin trailer that just dropped.
I saw that. Can I tell you what I was thinking? I accidentally watched the teaser trailer and said, this doesn't look that bad. Then I found the real trailer. When that smoke came out, I'm like, oh fuck. Mm-hmm. He looks like, he fucking gave me the willies.
Yeah. No pun intended.
I was trying to think of a word that wasn't he scared me more than fucking the G mutant in Resident Evil 2. Mm-hmm. I haven't played it yet, but I'm excited for that. It's weird. It's his neck. Mm-hmm. His neck is frightening.
Well, the first thing I thought of was his face looks like one of those apps where you put where you have a person's face on somebody else's body.
Yeah.
Again, it's tracking like that.
What do you think would have happened if they redesigned him to hide the face or to change it?
On the spot, I can't really think of any way you'd be able to fix. I mean, there was that promo image of him without the blue makeup and just him in the costume. That would have been fine.
Maybe just even do a costume of blue tint, not a really heavy blue tint. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but the thing is, it got everybody's attention.
Yeah.
It looks terrible, but people can't stop talking about how terrible it looks. And any publicity is good publicity.
It's like Puppy Monkey Baby.
Like what?
That Super Bowl ad with the Puppy Monkey Baby.
I didn't see that.
It came out a couple years ago for Mountain Dew Kickstart. Okay. That thing came out, literally headlines were what the fuck was that last night? Mm. It's the most fucking bizarre thing. And I think they were not intentionally going for that, but they're going to use that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but talking about things going in cycles, I think of Disney and their the remakes. They can remake Aladdin and I think they're doing a 101 Dalmatians movie remake again after Lion King is released. And then they'll probably do the inevitable Snow White remake and Little Mermaid remake. But after that, I can't imagine where they're going to go. And I imagine by then, they're gonna start losing money because people are just gonna get tired of it.
Unless they find something.
Unless they keep making really god awful trailers that people won't shut up about.
I thought the Beauty and the Beast trailer looked a little off. I enjoyed the movie.
I don't like how the Beast has lips in that one.
No, that was fucking weird.
He has lips in the animated version, but they're not as
Human.
meaty. I was gonna say like wrinkly and chapped and detailed.
You know, the Beast is an interesting character visually. Mm-hmm. Did you know that he has 6 different animals in his design? He has a wolf's tail. He's got the legs of a canid, not wolf. He's got the eye markings of a raccoon. He's got the horns of a wildebeest in the neck and shoulders of one. He's got a lion's face, and he's got bear claws. I think that's 6, and I'm not going to count. And then it's weird because you're trying to anthropomorphize the mix of anthropomorphized animals. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's really. I imagine it'd be really hard to do that realistic in an aesthetically pleasing way.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You can go full monster. I don't know. Give him a fucking prolong that snout, motherfucker.
Yeah, there was Phalis was doing a review of a couple of different Beauty and the Beast, not knockoffs, but by different studios.
Basically knockoff.
Basically, they released them after Disney got their hand in the pie. But there was one that looked really, really interesting. He looked in this one he looks more like a gargoyle, and it's everything's sort of in a almost I guess a German art style, and almost the beauty in that one looks like a Tim Burton character actually.
Was that the one where you got the Goomba?
I don't know. This is probably his most recent video, I think.
I'm a huge fan of Phalis.
Yeah, he's really good. He's one of the few that guy with the glasses guys that I still keep up with. Okay.
I fell out of Snob, and I feel bad.
Yeah, me too, actually. I still check in on Guru Larry. I think he was part of Channel Awesome at one point.
Man, that was a fucking catastrophe.
He actually commissioned Shadman to do some art for his channel.
Oh, backgrounds probably, right?
It was his cartoon character, going like this. All right, see? And it's and everybody in the comments just kept pointing it out. Because Shadman posted it on his Twitter.
I'm not even going to fucking lie. That comic I'm wearing, Orca, I would kill to have a Shadman cover by Orca, maybe.
Yeah, Shadman does really good non-porn art as well as porn art.
Yeah.
If you go up, he has a tab for non-porn, and a lot of his early stuff is still pretty good. I would say he's improved though. Yeah.
Do you know what's an artist I recently was thinking about? His name's Hellraptor. He's a really minor artist. Mm-hmm. I got into him because he did pictures of characters from the arcade game Primal Rage. And he has been doing monster, mainly dinosaur, reptilian things. He's really fucking improved. He went from colored pencils to markers. He's now got himself a tablet. He's got a couple books out, or he's done art for German or Swedish books, I think. And it's do you have an artist that you look at their stuff, but maybe once every couple of months? You don't follow them regularly, but you'll go into Bursary and look at all the new shit they have.
I don't know, because I keep up with the artists on Twitter, and it's usually a constant stream of the artists that I follow, they usually put out stuff on a consistent basis. So I don't know of any artists. I mean, probably Bleedman. I actually saw he did some JoJo's Bizarre Adventure fan art. And it was actually pretty good. It was really... And, it's funny because I could still immediately, tell it was him, his style.
Oh, man. The other thing about Red Dead 2, I'm sorry to go back to that for a minute. Apparently, there's an Undead Nightmare DLC in the works. They figured this out already.
Oh, good.
Want to know how? In Red Dead 1, you couldn't break tombstones the zombies came out of. And that is an error that they haven't been able to fix, apparently, because there is tombstones that don't break in Red Dead 2. You can put dynamite on them, and I thought that was interesting. Maybe it's you play as a John Martian. I'm going to go back up to, the Saint Denis, and you're, hey, you fucking let us die, bastard. Yeah.
I wanted to ask, did you ever finish the first season of My Hero Academia?
No. And I think I'm going to go back to it. I'm weird with watching series. Because I'll watch it and then I'll get really into it. But if I stop for any reason, I fucking lose it.
Yeah.
Like, I was super, like, for example, Luke Cage on Netflix, I sat down and watched the entire thing in one day. And also, I was kind of sick, so but, like, I really like Daredevil, and I haven't finished Daredevil.
You better get to it soon, because I imagine Marvel's gonna, pull it off of Netflix for their own streaming platform.
Hey, watch that Godzilla anime on Netflix. It was fucking terrible. Like, imagine Attack on Titan meets kind of Gundam, but ships instead of Gundam robots, and there's also a 500-foot tall Godzilla. And it was fucking boring. It's like, I'm gonna kill you! And they finally kill Godzilla. And there's an even bigger Godzilla. And I thought that broke my suspension of disbelief. It's like Godzilla just came out of the ground. And then, like, if they kill him, I'm not going to watch the other two. And then when they kill him in the third one, the whole planet erupts at Space Godzilla with wings. It's the ending of Evangelion. He's holding, like, a little spear.
This just makes you think of this one Family Guy joke where Peter's, like, writing a Jaws movie, and it's just a bigger version of Jaws. It's called Big Jaws.
So, basically the Meg.
Yeah. I mean, like, it's funny because, like... That's at the end of the episode shows his thing on TV where it's like, the ship's being attacked by Jaws, and then Big Jaws comes up and eats Jaws, and then they become friends.
You know what my favorite fucking thing is? I didn't watch from my grandfather's when he watched it recently, and I walked in there. There's two fucking sharks. You know what? I'm going to get into nerd stuff for a minute. Do you know why megalodons couldn't exist in modern waters?
Why?
The oxygen level's too different. They would suffocate. Here's the issue. There's not just one. By the way, a real fucking Meg was 32 feet at the most. They're all impartial fossil, but that's the best estimate we have based on Carcharodon. They're relative. And it's like, holy fuck, we got this 90-foot shark. Oh fuck, we killed him, but wait, there's another one.
Wasn't that in the original Godzilla movie? That there were two Godzillas?
No, that's how they explained the second Godzilla showing up, and she laid eggs.
Yeah, because I thought that, like, they killed one of them with, like, a submarine.
Oh, no, there was only one Godzilla in the original.
Okay.
The only films that feature two Godzillas in the same film are... Holy shit, I can name these. Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla. Okay, that's cheating. Godzilla versus Space Godzilla. Biollante was a clone of him. You have Son of Godzilla, and then you have Baby Godzilla showing up in 3 other films. Then, if you really count it, there's one Godzilla film where he goes back in time, and there's 2 Godzillas there. So technically, there's 11 different Godzillas shown. My favorite one isn't even in a Godzilla film. In one of the Mothra movies, I love the Mothra movies. I can sum them up with, like, wow, isn't it cool Godzilla hasn't attacked in weeks? It's almost like we couldn't have him in the script. But they have one where they went back in time to kill King Ghidorah, because Mothra's son basically did Mothra's son is a fucking anime moth. Picture, like, he does the ninja thing. He goes back in time to kill King Ghidorah when he was young, and I'm apologizing for nerding out. I'm having a Mike Wazowski moment.
Yeah, and they say that the Kingdom Hearts plot is convoluted.
But here's my favorite thing. They could only use him in one scene in the entire franchise of a Mothra trilogy because of copyright and budget shit. So they have, like, when they kill King Ghidorah as a young one, Godzilla is a baby, walks out and starts eating his body, implying that King Ghidorah turned him into Godzilla. God, can you imagine being a fucking continuity writer for Godzilla?
Wonder if they had continuity writers.
Actually, they tried to pay attention. Like, there's subtle references in some of them, like radio towers are being torn down in Terror of Mechagodzilla because that's how the first one operated. I thought that was a cool touch. They do shit like that. Or in the Millennium series pisses me off. Because in the Millennium series, every fucking Godzilla movie happened. Alright? But they fucking didn't happen. Because, like, hey, where's Birth Island? Hey, where's Gigan? What about the Atlanteans you discovered? Where's King Kong? I apologize.
I was watching All right, yeah, before I left, I went back and rewatched. There was a documentary on the Powerpuff Girls.
How was it?
It's good. It still holds up. I mean, like the documentary is pretty it's pretty straightforward about like Craig McCracken, his childhood, and then going on to go to Cal Arts and pitching Powerpuff Girls for the first time, and it's a success. It's funny because like that was like for its 10th year anniversary back in 2008. And since then, it's like it had its 20th anniversary a year ago. So like now it's like old enough to buy alcohol, I guess.
It's sitting in a bar, and it's like the conglomerate of all three of the Powerpuff Girls.
Yeah. I've heard the new series is pretty bad.
I heard it's atrocious.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't heard much about it since like its first season.
You hear about the Mary Sue?
Yeah, the Bliss.
Self-insert.
Yeah. Oh no, that guy, Jared Shapiro, which is like a direct. Mary Sue insert of one of the writers.
Whenever I hear a name Shapiro, I picture Ben Shapiro.
Yeah.
I really wasn't the fucking jump at Powerpuff Girl.
It's like Blossom rears back to punch him. He's like, facts don't care about your feelings, libtard. And she turns into a pile of dust.
I'm sorry, man. Like, my uncle fucking loves it to death. He's now using libtard and libcuck every other Facebook post. I'm like, what the fuck?
How old is he?
I'd say probably in his early 50s.
Oh.
God, yeah. Yeah.
He's like the corrupted boomer meme.
Yeah, like what happened was like the boomer meme was traveling for hyperspeed and it bumped into like this glob of negative force. Why do I keep doing this hand gesture? In this glob of antimatter, and instead of cracking the beer, he bites him down like that. Funny story, he was in the Marines, and he tells us, like, yeah, I was out there, and, like, Al-Qaeda jumped down, and I had to fight him with my knife. Like, you know how, like, guys talk when they're super gung-ho. Mm-hmm. Well, it turned out he told a story that him and his men were attacked by camel spiders. Fun fact, they weren't attacked by them, because one of his friends was in the comment. What happened was they're standing out in the sun, and the sun changed from, time, and all these rocks were hiding, like, 500 camel spiders. Mm-hmm. They go to the shade. They were standing in the shade of all these spiders. And when they run, they whistle. Mm-hmm. Air goes through their mandibles. So you have these whistling spiders probably the size of my head charging at him. He unloaded an entire clip of ammunition screaming like a girl.
I had to think for a moment, how did we get from the Powerpuff Girls to giant spiders and Al-Qaeda? No, Al-Qaeda is not a place. What am I talking about?
No, I can see it. Like, it's the corrupted boomer, libtard Ben Shapiro.
Yeah. But yeah, like it made me think about because I had like thought of developing like a fan comic of Powerpuff Girls, like the sort of like a continuation set in, like 10 years after the end of the like where the series left off. I didn't go with it because of our friend Bleedman.
Yeah,
like he sort of left a bad name. I mean that and fan comics in general are just like. I don't know. For me, there's just kind of a stigma. It might be attached still to Bleedman and his antics, or just DeviantArt in general. But I had this like pitch for like some of the characters that have just aged up and just giving them more development. The idea is that the girls are like grown up and they've sort of disappeared, leaving like the fate of Townsville and the supporting cast. So like the characters, like the princess, who's like the rich, spoiled girl. Yeah. She's like grown up and more mature and like runs the business.
You know those green degenerate dudes?
Oh yeah, the Gangrene Gang.
And they're like, hey, what happened to our leader? Oh yeah, he joined the band in the 2010s. It was kind of fucked up.
I think they kicked him out of the Gorillas.
Thank God. Do we still have oh my God, I forgot his name.
Ace.
Ace. Do we still got Ace? No, not Ace. The other guy, the Satanist dude.
Murdoch.
Do we still got Murdoch?
Yeah, he got out of prison and now he's back in the Gorillas.
Isn't it weird that I think Murdoch's the best character on here next to Russell?
Yeah, I mean, he has the most he's definitely the most expressive out of all of them.
He'd fit in Smokes, I think.
Yeah. I liked, in the documentary, like, for the Powerpuff Girls, when they were talking about the Gangrene Gang, Craig McCracken described them as Fat Albert characters, but designed by Big Daddy Roth.
Oh, God.
So, like, the guy who does, like, all the crazy biker art. Like,
can you imagine doing a comic book entirely in that style?
I think that the closest comes to that is probably Tank Girl, going back to the Gorillas. I don't know if Tank Girl gets that extreme though. I haven't read any of them. I think I've read like probably the first issue done by Jamie Hewlett.
Oh, speaking of what was that? I tried reading a comic and I couldn't get past the first fucking page. No, I was reading it. I got back into Marvel Comics a little bit. I'm back to being a cape cuck. And it also cured me in the same fucking issue. So the guy uses entirely 3D assets for everything but the person's face. The bodies, I can tell that he traced somebody's photo because they didn't look normal to a comic. So basically, She-Hulk watches YouTube, and the guy who makes millions off single videos is going to do a cake, so they put gamma blood into his cake, so that when he eats, he turns into a Hulk. And I'm like, what the honest fucking... It was fucking bizarre. And stupid.
Oh, I just remembered, somebody posted this on the Shitty Webcomics Discord. There's this independent comic, I think it was actually distributed by Image Comics, but it was recent, and it's like this... When I say indie comic, the first thing that comes to your mind, this is probably something along the lines of that. It's about a transgender Snoopy who like prostitutes herself to people and follows getting into all these like situations where she's basically just selling her body and like justifying her profession. And it's called The Pervert, if you ever want to look it up. It's just awful. It's got awful art, and it has some of the most pretentious, fruity writing I've seen in an independent comic.
No, I'm sorry. So I don't talk much in a shitty webcomics Discord, but I lurk. I'm a lurker in a lot of the chats I'm in. I got 3,000 pings on Discord. I don't have enough time to go for every fucking one and click markers red. So I'm watching these at-me swarm. By the way, I did see you comment on there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I do comment from time to time on that.
Yeah.
I do want to state here that a lot of what I comment is exaggerated for comedic effect. So, like, that's not really... I mean, like, that's kind of what Thomas and, like, everybody who's... All the OG Shitty Webcomics guys, they've actually said before on the Shitty Webcomics blog before it got taken off of Tumblr was, like more than half of the stuff that we put on here is just us trolling. And if somebody actually ascribed 100% to what we were pushing, then we would probably be very concerned.
By the way, they're the guys who do Lately, right?
Yeah.
I need to fucking read their comic. Like, I seen the parts of it, but I can't seem to find it in order, and that's bugging me.
Kill Everything. I got, like, if you're talking about Kill Everything,
yeah.
I can send you the comic. You could, like, I think that they put, their scripts online through, like, I don't know if it's Dropbox or, like, because I actually downloaded, like, they put up a link to, or Thomas put up a link to the most recent comic script that he's done. And the comic scripts are actually entertaining on their own.
Is it like the one where he does like the glass pane falling on somebody?
No, that's a different one. Oh. Like the most recent one is called The Tower, and it features Laylee, and that's kind of the most I remember about it. It's like I don't know, I'll probably read it later, and because like he does a lot of good comic scripts. Like there's one he did about like a short one he did about Pizzagate. I think I told you about this.
Oh yeah, the one where like what was it? They save the little. No, it's the shooter one, right?
The guy who like goes into the comic pizza and then shoots everybody and then rescues like a little thigh girl from a cage, and then they escape in a van that's driven by Terry A. Davis.
Did I ever fucking tell you about about how if you ever bring Pizza Hut to a WWE wrestler, he will fucking kick your ass?
Really?
The owner of Pizza Hut bought WWF and WWE for a while. And he was a fucking megalomaniac. Everyone hated him. There's a wrestler, he's not so much a wrestler anymore. He's more like a color commentator. They used to call him the honky tonk man. Picture even more Southern Elvis. And he once said he wanted to bring in 2 hunchbacks. He put out $2,000 if he can bring me 2 hunchbacks who can wrestle. And my favorite thing is they mentioned if he could have his way, there would be midgets beaten off in garbage cans. And they describe him. One of my favorite comments is Jim Cornette, who I consider the saint of any commentator. He once said, if I could, he quit drinking soda, quit drinking beer, quit smoking, so he can live long enough to go to that cripple's funeral and set his corpse on fire. I apologize.
It's fine. Like, I actually have watched some really decent retrospectives on professional wrestling. There's one from Super Eye Patch Wolf. They did I think almost half a year ago now. No, it was last April. So yeah, it's almost a year ago now. And it's called why professional wrestling is fascinating. And there's one it goes over both blankets over professional wrestling in general, not just in America but also New Japan wrestling, which I've heard is really popular.
The guy, Jim Cornette, he used to run he used to do the South, and he did Ohio Valley Wrestling in Smoky Mountain. He was in the 70s, or late 70s, early 80s. And holy fucking shit, he found some weird fucking people. My favorite story ever told by him is that he kept finding red hairs in his comb. And they weren't head on your hair. He was trying to find out which of his wrestlers did it. And the issue was that none of the boys were redheaded. They have a bald guy there, and they saw his high school graduation picture. He's a fire crotch. He's as redheaded as you can get. He got his ass kicked. And it's like most of them were drunk and high half the time.
Yeah, I imagine living that lifestyle, being a professional wrestler has to just be hell on your body.
You know how in Smoke, for example, I use a lot of the terms marks. I use mark quite a bit. A lot of the wrestler culture applies to Raider culture in my stories. I've noticed there's a lot of parallels.
Yeah, I know it takes a toll on your body because the other documentary that I watched was by Emperor Lemon. We actually got to start doing YouTube poop videos, but now he does just video essays, and it's called "There Will Never Ever Be Any a show like Monday Night Raw," and it was mostly covering Monday Night Raw. And there's one segment where he was talking about this match between the wrestler Mankind and. I don't know if it was The Rock. I think it was somebody else. But it was this. It was a steel cage match. And they're on top of the cage, and the wrestler is fighting Mankind. He throws him off the cage. He smashes into a table, and then he gets back up and starts climbing back up, and then he gets thrown off again into a different table, I think. And there's a tooth going through the top of his lip.
One of the most. It's fucking blood sport, but. There's also mud show wrestling outlaw shows where they aren't sponsored. It's like, hey, y'all, you want to see us kick each other's ass? Whoop! And they mentioned some crazy shit. One of them, first, the guys usually tend just to beat the shit out of each other. Also, sometimes bats get into the ring, and when it does outlaw shows. There was one outlaw show that got in so much trouble they had to shut down wrestling for 6 weeks in the fucking state of Montana. A woman stuck a tampon, used one to another woman's mouth.
It's kind of like what they do in Japan, where it's they just have women just choking each other out. Asuka, I think, is one of the big names in that area. She's in the American wrestling.
Yeah, she is. I love Asuka.
Yeah. Makes me think of they were posting about Sailor Moon on the Shitty Webcomics Discord, because according to Thomas. I almost said Randall, and I almost said Mod 1 at the same time. I actually put out...
As you said that, 3 heads appeared on
Yeah, brief side note, when I was giving my year-end recap on Twitter, I mentioned, a bunch... all the names that I know, him by, and one of them, I think, was actually his real name. And, because he contacted me in a DM, and he said, I get kind of nervous when people bring up that name. Because I actually looked up... It was I think I won't get in trouble if I say this, but it's his the name on the books that he published, and like I looked up the ISBN number and his full name shows up. And I thought, like when I first found it, I thought that was another pseudonym because it sounds like a superhero name.
I see.
And I'll tell you what it is after we're done recording. Actually, I'll bleep it out right now.
Yeah.
And
Fuck, that's a great name.
yeah, it sounds like a fake name. So I thought it was a fake name, and I thought it was okay putting it on Twitter. But he's like, I get kind of nervous. And I'm like, yeah, I get nervous too because, I go by my real name, and I say some edgy shit. And there are days where I'm afraid that somebody's going to mail me a bomb. But, I'll deal with that when the time comes.
Do you favor a restaurant or something? Or, like
what?
Do you have a restaurant you go to quite a bit? Or
not one that I frequent. Probably Denny's, or like some of the restaurants like IHOP or the local one right around the corner from where I live. I go there with my mom.
I'm just picturing you sitting there and you're having your coffee, and a guy walks over and says, here's your soup, and you look down, and then they stab you in the neck with a railroad tie. Sorry. I apologize if that was shitty of me.
But anyway, like getting back to Sailor Moon, they were like Thomas. He said that that Sailor Moon is basically porn, and that it's basically Ryona. That's where I see him mentioning Ryona occasionally. Is where because when you look at the action scenes, it's really just the girl characters getting punched really hard in the stomach. And I mentioned that one scene to you before, where she's getting squeezed, or being choked by the mouth by the villain. And I was like, yeah, that's probably why I got horny when I was 5.
Oh shit! I think I saw that comment.
Yeah, that was me. Yeah, that was a weird Not even mention. That wasn't even the weirdest thing that happened to me. When I was that age. I think it was 6 because I remember vividly. There was not too vividly. It's nothing gross, but I had a friend, one of my neighbors, who was about my age. His dad kept a stack of Playboys in his shed in the backyard, and he showed me them, and I was 6. So that kind of I don't think it really messed me up, but. Yeah, I don't think it warped my mind or anything. Hopefully, I think we all have warped minds.
Pornography, it corrupts the mind and damns the soul.
Uh-huh. There was one state recently that says that it's an epidemic.
I believe it's Utah.
Yeah, or New Hampshire or somewhere. I don't know one of the states.
Yeah, I saw that on r/Not the Onion.
Yeah.
They tried. They want to build a sausage museum over a death camp. Oh yeah, this will be very nice.
I saw there was another bit of news where this class got suspended or something for giving out N-word passes, and it's funny because they showed it, and it's literally just a Willy Wonka golden ticket with the phrase N-word pass, just photoshopped onto it. Oh. It's so dumb, but and it's just a joke, and it's it's an edgy joke, but come on, I probably would have been suspended at that age too, but
God, no, you know what happened. I'm sorry, I'm just picturing having a hand out the passes. It's it's in the Jim Carrey's The Grinch when he has the mail.
Oh yeah.
God, I really like that movie.
Really.
It's a tradition to watch that movie in Polar Express. Polar Express is fucking creepy.
Yeah. The Grinch is creepy too.
Yeah, but I kind of prefer the Grinch. It's a different kind of creepy. While Polar Express looks like if you're like Tom Hanks and go, all aboard, and stick his hands through the TV and rip out your tongue and then eat it.
Yeah. The Grinch movie kind of makes me think of fuck, I just said his name. Tim Burton.
Oh.
Tim Burton. It does kind of feel like a Tim Burton movie if you think about it.
Yeah. By the way, can you imagine if Terry A. Davis made a movie?
Oh, that would be great. He can't now because he's fucking dead.
I know. R.I.P., my friend.
Have you ever watched the Cat in the Hat movie?
I used to be obsessed with that movie, and then one day, all of a sudden, my brain actually started working, and I was like, no!
You know, it was the same thing for me too, and it might have been around the same age because I like when I watched it for the first time, I loved it, and like I probably would love it if I went back and watched it now, but for completely different reasons.
Yeah, like it's a stoner film.
Yeah, like
The thing scared me as a kid, though. I was afraid that like they sneak into houses and rape people.
that was kind of Justin Roiland, the parody of Cat in the Hat, where it's like some like crackhead who like anthropomorphic animal guy who breaks into kids' houses during rainy days, and like they're like, "What are you doing in my house?" And then the dad comes out of the shotgun. And he's like, "What the fuck are you doing? Get the fuck out of here!"
Can I tell you what my worst nightmare I ever had as a kid was? I had some weird ones, but this is the one that I remember most well. Is like right after I saw the movie. I saw an episode of like NCIS because I used to watch it with my mom. She loved that show. And there's this woman. She's in the car wash, and you see a guy in a full latex suit pull out, and he does nobody in particular pulls out a straight razor, and you just cut the blood in the windshield. And it was the thing number 2. It was thing 2. You're the same thing.
You leveled up.
Yeah.
Wrong series, but I know, but whatever.
Hey, by the way, you would be great if they do another. Have you ever seen the Devil May Cry anime?
I haven't.
It's actually not that bad.
I wonder if the Netflix series is going to take influence from it. I imagine they will.
What Netflix series?
The guys who are doing who did the Castlevania.
We're doing Devil May Cry?
Yeah.
Oh shit! Hey, by the way, let me tell you this. I got to stay over. My mom, she got some new furniture, and I helped her bring it in there, and I stayed the night. And you've been to her apartment, right?
Yeah, like I helped her move, right?
Yeah, that's what I meant. So I'm sitting in there, so there's a couch by the door, and that's where I've been sleeping, or when I was there. And I'm sitting on there, and I hear this kid across the hall, and I hear his mom go, "If you don't stop, I will whip your ass." And I look at my phone; it's 3 a.m. And I'm kind of like, that kind of like when you were just you're kind of like drunk almost. And then I hear a door fly open across the hall, and I'm sitting there, and let me recreate the noise. Even louder than that, I hear this kid getting his ass beat so hard, I grabbed my own ankles out of instinctual fear. And then I heard my mom say, like across in her room in the very far end, go, "Yep, in about 2 hours, you'll hear the 2 hump jump." And I go, "But what?" There was like above in the bed, and I know it's a bedroom, and I'm like, I apologize. Apparently, it's like, there's like different groups. She actually made a fucking spreadsheet of who does what on what day at what time. It happens like fucking clockwork. This kid gets his ass beat so hard, she can use it as an alarm to get up for work. I apologize. It's fucked up. I needed to vent about that. I needed to share that with somebody.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to segue into from that.
So tell us, how you're going to raise your kids?
Like, I don't know. I feel like I would be like kind of a bad father. I don't know. Like, I keep like when I picture myself as a dad, I have obviously compared myself to my dad, and he was like. My dad, I don't mean to give him any flack. He did a good job. He tried his best. And the thing is, he was kind of a flake, kind of like how I am right now. So I really don't want to procreate for that reason. I don't want to I feel like I was actually just thinking about this the other night. Was that how many I imagine parents wing it 90% of the time. 90% of the time they don't know what they're doing, but they just sort of put on the appearance of authority. And I feel like a lot of people don't realize that until they do become parents. Kind of makes me think of actually a Red Letter Media review of the Star Trek motion picture, and they're picking a clip from Star Trek: The Next Generation. where Picard is like, Picard and Janeway are lost somewhere, and he says, this way. And then she says, you really don't know where you're going, do you? And he says, well, not in particular. And she says, how often do you do this? Like, not know what you're doing and just, like, give on, like, pretend like you are. And he says, well, like, the captain must give an appearance of authority, even if he doesn't know what he's doing. And I picture that's kind of what being a parent is like.
That's actually really fucking on the point. I won't be like my dad because...
I mean, like, the way you describe him, you'd have to be Satan to come anywhere close to him.
Fuck. Yeah, it's like, oh shit, I'm gonna be like my uncle, and I'm gonna have to join the Marines, get my hair cut. Oh, I couldn't join the Marines, I'm too tall.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
The Manlet Brigade is coming.
I think I mentioned one time, like, if this were, like, Viking times, you could be a berserker.
Dude, I'm not even gonna lie, I'd like to be a fucking berserker. Yeah, give me drugs!
Yeah, it's like what was he saying?
You'd have to drink some guy's piss.
Yeah, it's like the wizards or
no,
like
the shaman.
The shaman, they like eat like the poison mushrooms, and then their like kidneys filter out the toxins, and then you give the quote unquote potion to your warriors.
I'm just picturing
they go into the battle like all drugged up and crazy, and then they have their they have like the ropes that tied at the end of their like tourniquets. So like that when they get their if they get their limbs chopped off, and they just keep going.
Ragnar, drink this. This does not look like normal beer. It is not normal beer. We have to talk. I am Morgan the Bear. Sure.
On the subject of piss, I think that we're about ready to wrap up.
All right.
I'm happy to be back. We took a short break.
Yeah.
Vacation. How long has it been since our last recording?
Fuck.
It's been like 3 weeks, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that we're both recharged, and like I'll be happy to like record more often and edit when I can. I'm working on the comic right now, my comic, and I know you got your story, but for me, like I got to edit all this stuff, so I'll do my best to balance my workload. As long as you keep showing up, that's what matters on your part. So
yeah, I'm sorry. I'm like the dad who comes over like at Christmas. Like
yeah, I've considered upgrading our recording equipment. I've been looking at lavalier microphones. I'm not sure how that would work, but I've just been meaning to study more about audio equipment and figure out how that works, just to streamline and get this done quick as possible. But until then, I have been Tony.
I've been Zach.
This has been The Monkey Bar.
By the way,